All right, welcome back, CAD students. Today we're going to start working on your 3D modeled house to make sure we have a good grasp on all the geometric tools we'll use to draw in Google SketchUp, along with some fun things to give your drawings a little bit more personality and make individualize them a little bit. First thing we're going to do to get started is we're going to set our screen so we have the appropriate view so we can kind of see what we're working with as we're working. A thing to remember in this Google SketchUp world is this man right here stands about my height, about 6 feet tall. So everything you draw is going to be based off of his size. So a cube that's 6 feet tall would start at his feet and end at his head, and be just as deep and just as wide as he stands tall. So if we're drawing a house, what I would recommend to start, just so we don't get lost in our drawing, is we're going to zoom out so we can see the area around him where our house is going to be. Now, to draw our house, the first step we're going to use is we're going to draw a square or a rectangle. So we're going to go grab our rectangle tool from the toolbar on the left. The rectangle is the top. Now, as I come over, I'm going to click the corner of our rectangle to get started. And then as I drag it out, I want you to pay attention to the numbers in the lower right of the screen. Like right now, it's 103 feet and 5 and 13/16 inches by 51 feet and 1/2 inches. That is the working dimensions of our rectangle. To make sure that we have the appropriate use of the tools, I want everybody's house to be the same today, and we'll start getting creative and making some original ideas tomorrow. To make sure your house is the appropriate dimension, we're going to start with a house that is 30 feet by 40 feet. So as I have my rectangle here, I'm not going to click to set the rectangle. I'm just going to leave it floating. And on the keyboard, I'm going to type in 30 apostrophe, comma, 40 apostrophe. Now that apostrophe is the shorthand version for feet. So you can see in the lower right hand corner it says 30 apostrophe, comma, 40 apostrophe. It should look just like that. When you have that set, you'll hit enter and it'll give you a rectangle that is 30 feet by 40 feet. Now at this point, we're going to use our push-pull tool, which is over on the left side beneath the rectangle. Grab the push-pull with the arrow. We're going to hover over the square until it highlights with the blue dots. We're going to click it, and now we're going to drag up with our mouse. And again, if you look at the lower right-hand corner, you can see number measurements. There's right now we're at 8 feet, 8 inches tall. I want your house to be 10 feet exactly. So to do that, as I haven't clicked anything yet, so you just want your house to be free flowing, you're going to type in 10 apostrophe. So again, if you look in the lower right, it's just 10 apostrophe, hit enter, and it'll set to that height. So right now we have a house that is 30 by 40 feet long with a height of 10 feet. Now the next step we need to do is add a roof. So we're going to peak it just like most normal houses you'd see on the street. To do that, we want to get a good view of the top of your house. So to do that, we're going to go down to the bottom, grab our orbit tool, which is the top. Now as I click my mouse and drag, I can rotate my house so I get a good view of the top. Once I have this line where I can see this top edge and this bottom edge, I'm going to grab the pencil. Now the pencil is a straight line. It'll be an orthographic line, so it'll always be straight. We're going to snap to the midpoint till it highlights blue. I'm going to click once, and as I drag my mouse down, it will align to the midpoint of the opposite side. I'm going to click again. So now we have a line that's going straight down the middle of our house. Once you have this line drawn, I'm going to grab my my orbit tool. we're going to orbit so we can kind of get back to a front view of the house, but we still have access to this line. So it should be oriented just about like this. At this point, we're going to come over to the left and we're going to grab our move tool. Our move tool, it looks like the crosshairs, is going to allow us to move edges, points, faces. We're going to use it to move our line to move this up to form that peak in the roof. So I select my move tool. I want it to highlight on this blue line. That is the one that we're moving. So as I click, you can draw it up for the house. Now again, on the lower right hand corner, you can see the dimensions that it's drawing. I want you to draw this to a 7-foot peak. So to do that, we're going to type in 7 apostrophe enter. So that'll lock that in at 7 feet. Okay. So right now you should have a house that looks just like this, the measurements being the same, that it's 30 feet wide by 40 feet deep with a 10-foot wall and then a peak that it would be 7 feet above that wall. All right. If you need to rewatch this video, please do. If you have any questions, please track me down in the classroom, raise your hand, I will come around and help you. But do not move on to the next video until your house looks like this. Thank you.